Ben Affleck's character in this movie has a lot of similarities to myself. Both have Asperger's, we both have the same last name, and a lot of people keep asking us what time it is. If you don't get that joke, thank you. It's about time. Hi, I'm Tyler, and I'm here to let you know that The Accountant is no perfect movie. So in The Accountant, Christian Wolff, played by Ben Affleck, is a man with Asperger's syndrome, and he works as a forensic accountant for various criminal organizations. And he goes on the run when two Treasury agents, played by J.K. Simmons and Cynthia Ade Robinson, start to track him down, as well as one of his former clients, played by John Lithgow, who puts a contract on him when he discovers too much. Some people may look at this character and just assume that he makes autistic people look bad, because not only does he use his gifts in mathematics to launder money, but he has graphically murdered numerous people without remorse. But as someone with Asperger's, in my opinion, I thought Affleck very effectively portrays a man who, ever since he was a kid, was taught by his father that the world can be very uncompromising, it's not going to shelter him just because he's different, and that he needs to be physically and emotionally strong in order to survive. And you can tell that he does learn this because whenever he's practicing hand-to-hand combat or his shooting skills, he never stops until he gets those movements correct. And he has a routine on where he needs to hide, has a foolproof security system around his house, and an entire arsenal should his life ever be in danger. But the film also addresses his daily routines and his personality very nicely, and he does come across as a realistic autistic person. Whenever he has breakfast at a certain time of day, has the exact same portions for each kind of food, or runs an errand exactly 1 hour later, I can relate to that because I always have breakfast the exact same time of day, and I have very similar routines and nervous tics as this character does. Anna Kendrick isn't in the movie as much as the trailers may make you think that she is, but I did like how even though her character is normal, she also has similar traits to Christian, such as difficulty in making small talk, and they have a very keen shared interest in art, and you genuinely believe that there is a connection between the two of them. Particularly in one monologue where Kendrick talks about the things that she did just to get a prom dress in order to show Christian that she has the same need to impress people as he does. And Simmons and Robinson start off as your typical cliche detectives who just want to capture who they think is the bad guy. But when we start to learn about how Simmons first came into contact with Christian, you actually do understand why he's desperate enough to blackmail Robinson to help him. And Robinson, in my opinion, is interesting just for how smart she is. She starts to notice patterns in Christian's aliases, who all turn out to be historic people alleged to have autism, and she starts to build a good profile and deduce his behavior, and I really like that about her. If every action movie was directed like The Accountant was, I would be absolutely satisfied. The fighting choreography is very fast-paced, but it still has a lot of grit and brutality and realism to it. And fun fact, it's actually the exact same style of martial arts from the Raid films. There's absolutely no shaky cam or fast cutting whatsoever. You can tell where someone gets hit, when. You can tell that it's Affleck and the other actors doing all of the stunts themselves. But I feel like I should give a fair warning here. Do not go into this movie expecting a pure fun action film. This film does have great action scenes and is very suspenseful, but if I had to guess, I'd say there are like 3 or 4 fight scenes in the entire movie. And the film at its core is mainly a drama about a man who has lived most of his life in solitude, who starts to fight not just for himself, but for other people like Anna Kendrick when he starts to realize that he has similar traits as normal people and isn't as different as he thought he was. As for problems, I'm not really sure if this is a flaw or just a nitpick, but while there are many parts of the film such as Christian's autistic traits or Ade Robinson's investigation that are told very visually as possible, there are a lot of backstories or character motivations that are given mostly through expository speeches. And to be fair, during these speeches we're given montages of these characters in the past so that we can actually see these backstories for ourselves and we can feel the emotions with the images and with the actors' performances. And I can't say that I wasn't interested. In fact, I was never bored during the entire movie, but I never really felt as emotionally invested with the supporting cast as much as I did with Ben Affleck, even though the supporting cast was very fleshed out and they all gave really good performances. And I'm not sure if it's because they weren't portrayed as visually as possible or if it's something else. It wasn't as impactful as I was hoping it was going to be, and I'm still not entirely sure why it wasn't. But The Accountant does have a very intriguing story, a really well-realized portrayal of a person on the autism spectrum with Ben Affleck's performance and Bill Dubach's writing. Great performances by the entire cast, and very, very thrilling and fun action sequences, even if there are only a few. And for that reason, I'm going to give The Accountant 3.5 out of 5. Guys, thanks as always for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, check out my other reviews at NoPerfectMovie.com. And once again, thank you so much for watching. Take care.